Hi guys, welcome to Jesus in the Real, a podcast by the Omoabine Bears.
Jesus in the Real is really just us sharing about the real stuff we deal with, journeying as humans, being married, and real life in general.
All our views are personal and based on personal experience, so sit back, chill, and enjoy the conversation. All right.
Well, finally, the first podcast. We've been planning this thing for so long. It now feels
Our
surreal.
first episode. I can't believe it.
Finally,
Yeah.
it's been a long time coming. A lot of equipment buying,
Yeah.
a lot of learning. To be honest, Jemima knows a lot more about this than I do.
And you're learning as well, babe.
I am learning, but you know a lot more because you've been doing the 1 minute podcast.
Yes, actually, I've been doing that.
So
thanks for the plug, babe.
Plug in,
Check it out, guys.
I'm learning. You get me? I think you've been doing the 1 minute podcast, so it's giving you a lot of hands-on experience, and you've been getting a lot of questions, to be honest. And honestly, it's up to you. You're leading it. You're
we are both in charge
of this particular ship. You know, as the resident expert in podcasting.
That's so. So welcome, guys, to our first episode, which is our year in review. We've been married a year, babe. Whoop, whoop. High five.
It's been a little more than a year, bro.
Okay, well,
we got married in October.
Okay, so our court wedding was October
2019.
Yes, and
Then we got married January. We did the court and the white on
the traditional and the white, babe.
Okay, the traditional and the white.
Yeah.
Actually, we did the tradition. The day we're actually shooting today, and
on the day of
the traditional.
So basically, it's our anniversary. So our first episode is about marriage in the past year. Yeah. How has money?
You know, to be honest, I'm just gonna say this. Shout out to everybody that told me, marriage is hard, marriage is this, marriage is that, and
it's because he's a guy.
It's not me. It didn't happen to me, so I don't know. When people say you're gonna fight for the first year, you're gonna hate each other, you're gonna kill each other. You understand? First of all, it wouldn't be a fair fight because if you can see the size difference, I'm being serious. It wouldn't be a fair fight. But two, it wasn't my experience. And so thankfully, it didn't happen to us where we spent all our time fighting and, all the behind the scenes stuff. So for me, the first year of marriage has been pretty enjoyable. You get me? Getting to know each other. What? What are you whispering? They can't even hear you.
They can. You can't, but they can. So whisper in the microphone.
I don't know. Whatever it is, if it's good, I agree with it.
I was saying because he's a guy, because I remember we went for your sister, my sister-in-law. We went for their court wedding in Abuja.
Mm-hmm.
And, the guy that was talking, he kept on saying, marriage is so much harder, for you women. Make sure you have all your papers. Make sure you shine your eye because you guys...
Shine your eye
because you guys bear the brunt of stuff like that. And, to a certain extent, it's true. That's why I kept whispering, is because as a guy, I feel like guys actually enjoy more in marriage. I would like someone.
I don't know because the popular saying is
to do my laundry.
I don't know because I think the popular saying is happy wife, happy life. So I think it's sort of skewed towards you because you spend all your it's like when I'm driving home from work and then I get a call, babe, buy bread, but it's never just bread. So it's skewed towards
That's because I do the general shopping
happy
and it's
wife,
bits and bobs.
Happy life.
Okay, that's fair. But I think from both sides, we both, enjoyed sometimes. Most times, I would say we've enjoyed most times, and then we've had the learning curves. But for me, the biggest takeaways, and again, if you listen to our intro, all our views are personal. So I'm saying that again before I say this, because some people come and say, what are they feeling like? If you don't have HS, shout out to HS. I have to shout out the Holy Spirit. If you don't have Holy Spirit in your marriage,
let me use pidgin.
I don't know how, because I know there's the argument that there's some people that aren't Christians and their marriages are to be honest, it's not their marriages. But this is personal for us. Mm-hmm. HS is a big deal.
I think he's proved to be our middle ground.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, with HS, or rather, like we like to, HS is short for the Holy Spirit, for those of us that don't know. With HS for us, for example, it needs to be a situation where you're both listening to HS.
Yeah.
It can't just be one person.
Yeah.
Because if it's just one person, then it's going to sound like religious activity,
Yeah.
where it seems like as if, oh, God said this, so you have to do this. You know, it's human nature to try and enforce people's views. But if at the end of the day, you're both hearing from God, it makes your lives generally easier.
It honestly does. Like, and I think I said this before on another podcast. Shout out to Uche Chess Corner. We were on there first.
Whoop, whoop.
And I said it that, HS is such an advocate because as human beings, we actually forget. And we're actually naturally selfish as well. And I know that, there are some times that I'm annoyed and I'm just like, oh, like, Marv hasn't done this, he hasn't done, and then, and I'm the one that's always, and then HS will start reminding me because like I genuinely, sometimes you forget all the good things that this person has done, especially when you're angry. When you're angry, your emotions are geared towards I am the one doing all, and but HS will come and calm you down and be like, sister, you calm down. Like, remember when he did this, remember when he did that, remember this, remember that. And I'm like, oh, that's true, actually. And then, I find that I begin to calm down and I'm like, okay, like I'm blowing it out of proportion because that's what your emotions do when you get emotional about something. They amplify the issue. So there have just been so many ways. Like, I think for me, I thought being a single person, I was selfless. But when they say marriage, when people used to say marriage really shows you who you are. See, I'm not, okay, the Lord is working on me, but I'm not as selfless as I thought. It was easy for me to say I was selfless because I was in my own space. And I guess I had the option to choose when to be selfless. Like I could just be like, bro, not today. But in marriage,
yeah, especially like with the whole lockdown, the whole lockdown, the whole COVID situation, you get me? Like when one of the things I used to say is that, when I and Jamie, when I was like on Jemima's case, when I was saying, it's fine girl, I found out, I agree for your boy, and she was out there being Mother Teresa. You get me? Well, out there being Mother Teresa of Calcutta. And then, but at the same time, in the back of my mind, I was like, yo, this little lady is a bit she's a little combative. So those, and then all those things sort of come to the forefront when you're stuck together. I won't say stuck. Is stuck the correct word? But let's just say, for lack of a better word, it's a good kind of stuck. The good kind of stuck. But when you're together for 24 hours for over a period of time, you can't go out, you can't do this, you can't do that. You are forced to get to know each other. So even though we were aware of each other, we're aware of our emotional range, we're aware of how we were, the things we liked, the things we didn't, we disliked. The whole COVID situation sort of brought us closer together because we had to work out our differences without having the agency of, okay, I'm going to step out for a bit. You actually had to talk through the issues that you faced. Because I remember before, like if I was annoyed about something, it would be the time that I go out for a drive and I'll be annoyed. And I'll be like, you know what they said now? They said it now. Short women, that's what they say wicked. So my mind will be processing so many things. And but when you're in the same space with somebody, how long does silent treatment last? How long does keeping the burden on your chest last? It doesn't. It's unsustainable.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of hard. I guess it also depends on relationship. Like you can, because I know you can be in a home and be somewhat separate. But I think because for us, we tend to do, even at home, we do stuff together. We cook together, we do laundry together. So it's because we do all these little bits and bobs together, not all the time, but a lot of the time. So it's kind of hard for us to even be apart from each other. We pray together, worship together, we do all those things together. So I think that togetherness has kind of and I think it's because we enjoy doing stuff together, and that's that's friendship, I guess. So yeah.
Even talking about that worship, the worship was a struggle. You know, I know people have seen some of our videos where we're worshiping when we're singing, you know, we're raising holy hands, you understand, we're almost crying. Oh, Jesus. But in the beginning,
Took a while. We understand each other's style and flow.
We've been able to understand each other's style and flow. Like, I'm a very, you know, as the thing they ought, as the spirit is doing me, you know, I'm a very out there with my emotions, especially when it comes to prayer and stuff. Whereas Jemima's a more stoic, silent type. So
I am a more musically disciplined type.
I don't know what that means.
So I can't just randomly sing a song. If I'm playing the guitar, what I'm singing should ideally flow with what I'm playing. It's just a discipline.
My response to this
so
is
I need to form the song before I. My beloved, on the other hand, has no such, boundaries.
No, before we get into that, the first issue we had here was the fact that you'd be whispering.
Because I'm trying to form the song in my head. I'm not just blurting out random stuff.
I couldn't imagine, like someone's playing the guitar, they're meant to be singing, leading the worship or whatever the case is. But then you're whispering.
Because I'm trying to form the song.
And I'm trying to strain my ear to hear what you're whispering. And she could spend like 10 minutes.
Not really.
Whispering to herself.
Exaggerate much.
8 minutes then. 8 minutes just whispering to herself.
Some seconds, guys. Yes.
You see, my mouth is open on camera. So you can, like, if you're not watching the video and I'm on the my mouth was literally open just now. Some seconds. Wahoo. Anyway, the point is we've been able to work past our initial differences. And that's simply because here's the thing, real talk. So there was a time where we stopped worshiping together. Everybody was doing their own thing.
Because we were kind of both frustrated.
We were frustrated
each other's
with each other. She felt I was using her to play the guitar. She thought I was basically hiring her talents while I was enjoying the worship. You understand? She felt I was using her for her music. But like, if one person can play guitar and sing, then evidently that's the person that will be playing the tune.
I hear you, babe. But yes, I know that's not the case. But I think, and this is where communication is important, because I don't know that we were talking about it, but I think we just randomly had the conversation and I was like, no, this is, what I feel. I like, this is how you make me feel when, because sometimes I actually, the song has formed and I actually want to, and then, Math is a
delay is evil.
Yeah, he's a strong character, so he would just take over, and I'm just like, okay, and I'll just retrieve into my shell.
At that time, I've been waiting 8 minutes,
Not 8 minutes,
and song never come. What do you want me? I should be there. I need to sing and praise God if my partner is not ready yet. And my idea was, if she's ready, she go talk.
Now we have a system that works. Because he's actually he doesn't have those boundaries, so he's actually very spontaneous. I am more controlled. He's very, very spontaneous. So a lot of times, like, if he starts with something, even if it's off key, off beat, I give him body.
Drag me. I was going to say drag me.
So like I give it my musical life, let's put it that way. So if I see that he's saying stuff and he's I give it the rhythm, and I give it sound, and and so I have also learned to try and be a bit more spontaneous, and if something is coming out, just
sing it. Say it as it is.
Just sing it. So that's another thing. What else, babe?
I think we've in 2020 we've actually done quite a few things. We've actually achieved quite a lot. The way I was thinking about it, I was thinking to myself, what did I actually achieve in 2020? But then on the surface level, it doesn't look like a lot. But when you look at it at the deeper level, I realized we're taking we'd gotten married. We had moved into our first apartment.
Yeah.
Understand? Considering when we first moved in, we had two plastic chairs and a bed.
Yeah, so we kind of focused on things like in the kitchen and the bedroom. Yeah. So we had a bed, we had like a gas cooker, fridge, two plastic chairs.
So we had 2 plastic chairs. We had 2 laptops,
Yeah,
our laptops.
obviously.
But now we have a couch.
Yeah, we have a full house.
We have full
Let's
house. We have
just
a
say that.
couch. We have a whiteboard. We have my gift of the year, a TV.
Smart
It's a
TV.
beautiful smart TV. It's
Didn't,
55.
didn't hear what
Hi,
about
baby.
that?
It's a
Look at him.
beautiful
Just look
55
at.
inch TV. We
And
have
all this equipment.
yeah,
We've been able
a
to
lot
do
of
quite a bit
equipment.
of building.
So,
But I would say God has provided as well. And I
Yeah.
think it's probably because he kind of gave us the direction to build in the sphere of media, I guess, media, creativity.
yeah.
So he's kind of provided for us to, and we got this over time. It's
It
not
wasn't
like
just
we didn't just
one
boa.
lump
No,
sum.
we actually we prioritized, and we don't have kids. So
First of all, no,
We
I
were-
need to answer that
we were
because
able to spend money.
I have
Oh,
kids.
no, so-
Even though Jemima refuses.
You have
to say-
kids?
Yes, I do. I am a proud plant dad. Yes, I am. We have 3 beautiful plants, which we take. We have 2 cactuses and 1 snake plant behind us. You understand? And they're beautiful, beautiful. They're quiet. You understand? They have a great bedtime. They don't make too much noise. They're fantastic to be
We're not
around.
humans, babe.
Don't hate the player, hate the game. Yeah. What else? We actually did a lot of personal projects. I think the lockdown was very good for both of us because even spiritually, I know we both grew like in
Yeah.
leaps and bounds and
Leaves, Naru leaves and browns.
leaps and bounds in terms of our relationship with
Yeah.
God individually, which affected our individual lives, but also brought us closer together spiritually, where it helped us get more in sync with each other.
Yeah.
It helped us our ability to hear from God better. We even started practicing this thing where we'd wake up in the morning and ask the Lord what He was saying about us.
Yeah.
And the Lord would literally speak to both of us or show us pictures of what he was thinking about us at the time. What else did we get up to?
I don't know. It's been an interesting year. Because I'm
You
thinking.
started 1 minute podcast.
Yes, I started the
You
1
understand?
minute
Which
podcast.
was very unique. I had never seen it before. A 1 minute podcast.
And it actually got some really good
yeah. So check it out. It's at TBJ.
Yes, it's on my TBJ page.
TBJ page. That's at TBJ on Instagram. You can also check her out on at the 1 minute podcast. But that's more for guests when we have guest people, and we put their content out there.
We did Jesus and mental health.
Yeah, we did Jesus and mental health, which was our first joint event together, where we just spoke about and we taught people. We created a workbook where we showed people the heart of Jesus.
Yeah.
For their mental health and how their people. They weren't alone on their journey, but Christ was really interested in securing their mental health and basically focused on building their identity in Christ Jesus. So that was really good. Fantastic event.
That's something that, because you had done Jesus versus depression. Matthew. So Matthew is his English name. Math is
an abbreviation of my native name.
In case you hear me say Matthew Ma. So he's a mindset coach. And he's actually been doing different classes during the year.
Yeah.
So
I think you started off classes.
Yeah. With Jesus versus depression.
Yeah, did Jesus versus depression. No, the very first masterclass I did was beating imposter syndrome.
Oh, I thought that was after Jesus. Okay.
Beating imposter syndrome was the very first one I had. I took like 3 masterclasses.
Yeah.
There's a workbook for that, so you can check the link in my bio at Matthew shares. You can, I wrote an ebook. I wrote how many ebooks?
You started your first ebook was Rooted.
I wrote my first ebook, Rooted. I did a goal setting worksheet. I wrote another book. This is what I want, the goal setting workbook. I have a masterclass coming up. My first boot camp for the year coming up. Yeah, 2021, my first boot camp.
Yeah.
So generally, I think our years were pretty successable.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, we saw the faithfulness of God in, and I guess being a bit open here, because I remember when we got married. I know for us, our priority was our honeymoon, which we weren't able to go, but our priority was our honeymoon. So, we had a really small wedding because we didn't even want a big wedding, but, our priority was our honeymoon. But I know that, when we first got married, Math was working a job that wasn't paying him. at the time. And I remember like I was carrying the financial load. And then within the year, I saw how that kind of flipped on
Flipped.
its head. Like I had lost a client, so I wasn't earning that much. And then he, was getting clients and he was, getting deals and he was, like making a lot. So it's just, and now it's kind of, it's kind of adjusted and it's balanced. But like, I think the thing with stepping out on faith, even in marriage and stuff like that, is you actually have no idea, the plans that God has
That's for
has for
you.
you. I think I'm saying this because there are a lot of women that are like, oh, like I'm earning more than him, or this or that or this. I think the thing is, you also need to know. For me, like I knew that God was leading me. I knew that He was my husband. So, I wouldn't say take my story and
How
just
did you know,
go with
madam?
anybody. Did the Lord not confirm to both of us? I knew eventually. In the beginning, I was like, "Who is this crazy person?" But
I choose not to be offended because I was not, and I continue to not be a
exactly.
crazy person. That is not my personality. Anybody that sees me and knows me knows that I'm a loving, kind, approachable
Still
person.
crazy.
That's fake
And
news.
still quite crazy. But it's just amazing to see how God flipped the tables in that sense, and yeah,
It's been a
like
journey.
it's actually really it's been a journey. Just thinking about it's been a journey. I'm trying to think of, because I know we had some questions from the last pod episode
Yeah,
we
the
did
last episode we
on
did.
Chess Corner. So I'm just trying to see if we can address any of them.
I think the number one question I remember was somebody was asking about the age difference.
Yeah, so someone was asking, there was a lady that was asking whether that affected
Our
our
relationship.
relationship or families. I know in the beginning, Matthew's mother had an issue with it, but the Lord spoke to her.
Yeah. And
So,
it's so funny. I think the Lord sort of prepared both of us for each other
yeah.
because I had a history or track record of dating like older women or
Mm.
dating older than I was. Jamie.
For me, it was on the flip side. Like, I was into guys who were 8 years older, 5 years, like, I was into much older guys. So, I can't even remember what happened, but I know that even before ever meeting Mav, God had already dealt with me on dating, a younger guy. And I guess that was in preparation for this because at the time I was like, okay, Lord, okay, fine, no wala. But I still didn't think that I would
You
end up
end
with
up with
someone
someone
younger.
younger.
But I believe that God was actually at that point in time preparing me for that. So God had already, so to answer the question, I don't know how to answer that because God had dealt with me personally
Yeah,
on
on a
it.
personal
And,
level.
I kind of see nothing wrong with it. I think it depends on both of the level of maturity that,
Of both
both
parties involved, to be
exactly
honest.
like the way both of you think,
And I think
the way
that
you vibe.
ideally, what needs to happen is if you're the man and like you're in my situation where you're the younger person, then I think it's your job and your duty to actually protect your partner. So, like I remember, I had quite a few conversations with my mom concerning language choice or how she referred to my partner. She had to deal with it, to be honest, because this is what I wanted, and I wouldn't let anybody per se get in the way of the thing that I desired or where I thought or the person I thought I should be. So I didn't let anybody be a dictating factor. I think it's even funny because there are even people that I banned from the wedding because I didn't like their energy or the way they made. So I was like, yo, we're family, but I don't want you at the wedding. So, but everybody sort of dealt with it. Yeah, I think people sort of used to my behavior in
He
the
drew the
family.
line, and that's important. Like he drew the line and he set boundaries, and that's really important. I guess for guys as well to be able to do
So
with
you need
their
to be able to
future
set boundaries that
wives.
protect your partner.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it is your lead that the rest of the family follow. If you treat your wife like a human being, as a person, someone you protect, your family be forced to toe the line. And if at the end of the day it means you having to correct someone, the simple truth, yeah, if you're old enough to be married, you're old enough to tell other people the truth and correct them. I'm not saying go and insult your parents or insult
Yeah.
your partners or insult other people, but you need to be able to
You're
let them
not
know
a
that
baby anymore.
I'm not a baby. This is my decision. This is what I want.
Yeah.
I think on the woman's side, because I've heard this complaint before where I say, but she's older, she doesn't respect me, one to two things anyway. The simple truth is this: you can't buy respect. If you love your partner, and the natural response of love is the person respecting you right back. You can't, all those, I'm the man of the house. The man
And
of the house.
respect is mutual as
And
well.
respect is mutual, to be
It
honest.
should, ideally be both ways as well.
And to be honest, if you have to announce every time you're the man of the house, you need to check your motives. To be fair, then obviously I don't know, check the situation and assess the situation truthfully to yourself. If you needed to be standing on the hilltop of I'm the man on the house. So if your partner is older, then if you have a chip in your shoulder, then maybe that isn't the person you should be with. To be honest, save yourself the hassle of, if it's always going to be an issue with you, oh, she's older or she's earning more, then maybe that is not the person for you, because maybe you're not even mature enough yet because at the end, there's more to life than the wedding day. There's life after the wedding. Everybody will leave you alone.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think as well, like for both of us, the age thing it never came up. The only time it came up was when I was like, okay, I intend to wait a few years to have kids, and I'd like to wait longer, but because of my age, I'm going to reduce the time that I wait, because I understand, biological clock and stuff like that. That's the only time that it came up, really. Apart from that, like, we even tease each other about it. You get, sometimes you call me mommy, I'll be like, what do you mean by that? And I'll be like, yeah, but you're still my baby. I'll be like, excuse me, I was born before. Like, we joke about, we don't take ourselves seriously, to be honest. We joke a lot, and we joke about it, and I don't know, we don't make what is not an issue.
We don't make it an idol.
Now an issue, because so I think that's how it's worked for us. And I remember that was like the question that the lady was asking. So I hope that you get to watch this.
Yeah, and listen. Hope it answers your question.
So yeah, that's been our year in a nutshell.
Yeah, pretty much. So I started my coaching business as a mindset coach. You started the 1 Minute podcast.
Yeah.
We started Jesus in the Real.
Yes.
Was that? We started Jesus in the Real 2020. Yeah, we did in the page 2020. What else? We took our first trip out of Lagos together.
Yes, since we didn't do honeymoon.
Since we weren't able to go on a honeymoon, because the week of our honeymoon, that's when Corona and all the flights got shut down.
So we're still waiting. We haven't got our money back yet.
Travel Start, give us is it Travel Start? Give us our money back.
I don't know if we can call out brand names.
We can't call them out. Give us our money back. You know yourself.
But it's not Travel Start. It's Cape Verde Airlines.
It's Cape Verde. Whoever you are, you're owing us money. I think what else? There was a whole bunch of things. So if you check both our individual places, Matthew shares,
TBJ.
We forgot the most important part. Jemima released a single. Imagine. The Holy Spirit would have given us that, so you guys are not going to talk about the music.
Wow. Yes, I released a single called Nothing Do You. I'm working on my EP for next year.
For this year?
Is it this year? But in 2021. Oh my God, it's this year. Wow. Okay. I need to get serious with that. So yeah. That's it, really.
100.
That's it.
If we remember
doing
anything
else,
catch us on other episodes.
I don't know how often we'll be doing this podcast, to be honest, because we're both busy. But we'll try and do it regularly. And we're going to be talking about a bunch of things, really. Jesus in real life. That's the idea. Real life, with things that you're dealing with that Christians don't always talk about. Going to try and be open and as transparent.
You can shoot us your questions.
Yes, you can actually send us DMs, ask us questions on Jesus in the Real page, and we will try
and answer them on the podcast
as led
by the Spirit.
by HS. For HS to be like, you're not supposed to say that. So yeah, guys, thank you. Thanks so much for joining us. Thank you for listening. All right. Till next time.
Peace out.
Bye.
Adieu, mama.
And papas.
And papas.